Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, June 28th, and you know it's a Saturday because I'm going to be right here, say it with me, at the desk just for you guys. It's a special edition, as always, when I start here. Not sure why, it's just where I start on Saturday, so there you go. All right, let's talk about our show today. We got a great one. Performing Arts Centers with Theo Siegel. He's got his Spotlight on Cinema performance that he does there, talking about movies, watching movies over there. Bree's going to be talking to him about upcoming shows and what he does with those things. It should be fun. If you're a cinephile, make sure you get out there and join those. And then we got the Shuffleboard Club. John Rittenauer and Lynn Murphy are going to be here talking about their club, how you can participate, shuffleboard, the fun of it all. I've seen it. I haven't played it, but maybe I'll get a lesson today as well. There you go. We want to keep you informed, so let's talk about Stay Informed. And there are board application deadlines. They are coming up for United and Third. And make sure you want to get out there if you want to serve. This is the time to do that. Fill out those applications. United Mutual, their election's coming up. They have 3 open positions for the term ending in 2028. And Third Mutual has the 4 open positions with terms ending in 2028. So you serve 3 years on there. I believe the deadline for application is coming up for July 3rd for, I know, at least 3rd. So make sure you, if you're going to do that, make sure you consider that. Get the application in on time. There's the information there on the screen for how you pick those things up and who you talk to, the phone numbers, to make sure that your application is in before the deadline so you can be eligible to run for the October elections. Let's take a look at our forecast while we're at it. And we got some great temperatures for this weekend. It is a beautiful day here. Saturday, 81 is going to be our high. That's going to be the high for the whole week. And then we have a slight tapering off of temperatures. I wouldn't call this a cooling trend. 81 to 78 isn't exactly a cold front, but it's just a little bit cooler from the highs that we're going to see today. And we have our usual morning clouds in the morning burning off to really mostly sunny skies for that simple pattern that we have here in June. Even though this is going to be our last weekend of June, we're going to hit in July. The June gloom is going to stick with us just for a little while longer, like it usually does this time of year. All right, let's take a look at our sunrise, sunset. Got a beautiful picture here from Cole Young over in San Onofre State Beach. I'm sure he was down there surfing, as he always does. Beautiful shot there on the hilltop, the palm trees up there, and some beautiful clouds. Thanks, Cole, for setting that one into us. Sunrise this morning was 5:43. Sunset tonight is going to be 8:05. If you have a great picture at the beach or a sunrise, sunset right here in the community or whatever it might be, we'd love to see pictures. If you want to send them in to us, we'd love to use them. Make sure you send them to our email address, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name like Cole did, where you took the picture, just like Cole did, and we will use it on our sunrise, sunset segment. Okay. When we come back, we're going to be talking, Bree's going to be talking with Theo Siegel from Spotlight on Cinema. Stay with us.
Hearing connects you back to life. Don't settle for being trapped in the isolation of poor hearing. Advanced Ear can help you hear friends, family, and caregivers. We provide one-on-one hearing programs that will amaze you with the quality of how much better you can hear. There's no cost to hear the improvement we deliver. You'll be able to hear better the minute you put these on. No buttons to push or technology to be afraid of. We deliver better hearing, guaranteed. Come in so we can connect you back to life. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Joining me now is founder of A Night at the Movies. This is a very unique take on getting out there and seeing a movie. It's not what you expect. So I'm going to welcome my guest, Theo Siegel. Hello.
Hi, Bree.
How are you?
I'm great.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
I love this. Classic films, you bring them to life with behind-the-scenes stories.
I do.
Trivia, and the big screen experience.
I do.
My goodness, this is a new take on watching a movie.
It's not about movies as we know, with these days of 1,000 channels and streaming. Everyone, and I do it too, everyone just wants to watch, whatever they can at their convenience. But when movies were made, the purpose was to see a movie in a big theater with a large crowd of people to get the experience of crying together, laughing together, being shocked by the shark in Jaws, everyone jumping at that particular moment. and there's nothing like 400 people jumping or laughing as opposed to you just being by yourself or with your mate or friend
that is
watching
just
something on
something
TV.
I have never even thought about.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So that was the real experience
Yes.
of like going to the theater.
Yes, exactly. You know, today we have big blockbuster movies for the summertime. We have Marvel movies. We have other big blockbusters coming out, and those are still very popular, as we know. And seeing, I don't know, something like The Avengers on a big screen with super sound and 500 people is quite different than watching it on your TV.
Especially on your iPad falling asleep.
Exactly, or your iPhone, exactly.
So take us back to A Night at the Movies. What is it all about? Why did you want to start it?
Okay, so I do movies from the 30s to the 90s, and what we do is before we show the movie in its entirety, I will give a PowerPoint slide presentation, and it's not just kind of me droning like a professor, and we'll talk about everything about that movie, its development by Hollywood, its script, its casting process, its production, and its reception at the time, and why we are still watching these movies today. So we'll get a context of how these movies were made, what the filmmakers were trying to get across, what the actors were trying to get across in their performances, and then we'll watch the examples as we see them. After we talked about them, we'll watch them, and then when we conclude, we'll have a Q&A and a discussion about what we've just seen in an in-depth conversation.
So I would imagine that that makes the movie watching experience way more in depth.
Yes, exactly.
Because now you've got this awareness of the specific details that you've just discussed prior to the show.
Exactly. So we'll give an example of the scene. Look for this scene here. You're going to see this thing that happens. The reason that happened is so-and-so. And then when you watch it, you're like, I never knew that. I've seen these movies a lot of times, but when I saw that scene, I got a new insight into what was happening when they did it.
Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me of like going to a foreign country and walking around a city by yourself versus having a tour guide.
Exactly.
You get so much more out of the experience when you have a tour guide who's telling you what to look for.
Yeah, and this is considered me your tour guide to these movies that we're going to watch. And we'll talk a little bit about the Philadelphia story, which will be Monday, June 30th, and also our August movie, To Kill a Mockingbird, to get you enticed to hear more information about them.
So why do you think that these films, you know, especially the ones back in the 30s all the way through, why are they relevant to our day?
They're not stuck in their time. Even though Philadelphia Story was 1940, the humor is still fresh today because it's about character. It's not jokes that when you were alive in 1940, you may miss some of the references. Some of those references will be in many movies of that time period, but why these stand the test of time is they're still enjoyable, they're still funny, they're still dramatic, they still make us cry. You know, a lot of people say they don't make movies like they used to, but what we have to realize is several factors. One, they had 10 studios then, we have 5 today. They made 30 movies a year. They're lucky if we make 6 a studio year. And they made so many movies that we don't remember the movies that were not classics that are shown on Turner Classic Movies in a 24-hour rotation. We just remember the classics, and people don't make movies to last 50, 60 years. They make them for their audience of the time. So Philadelphia Story wasn't made for an audience of the 2000s. They wouldn't have the brie to think, this is going to last 60 years. I'm going to make a movie that's going to last forever. They just make it so that an audience at that time can enjoy it. So there are great movies today, and there were great movies of the past as well.
And every once in a while, one will surface, right?
Exactly.
And it will, like, one that comes to mind for me is Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, that, for me, will be an all-time classic.
Yeah, there are movies like Princess Bride that people love, and you know, Jaws is celebrating its 50th anniversary, which was an incredible piece of work by Spielberg.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Was that filmed in Nantucket?
No, Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard. I knew it was somewhere over there. I'm heading there Sunday, so. So we touched on this a little bit, but I want to kind of drive home the point here because I think that it's really important, especially in this community, for people to get out and socialize.
Yes.
So how would you compare going to the theater sitting there through your presentation, participating in the trivia and watching the movie versus sitting at home and being by yourself?
Well, for several factors, like you said, this is about connecting with people. And like we said, movies were made to be seen on a screen with an audience. Even today, I mean, exhibitors are talking about that shrinking. Will we have this in 40 years? Will we have movie theaters? Because the audience keeps shrinking. But there is nothing like that experience of sharing with people. It's like going to a Broadway play. If you were just one person watching a Broadway play, it doesn't have quite the same impact as the audience experience that you're sharing together. So if you're watching To Kill a Mockingbird, you're going to be moved to tears by scenes in this great movie about justice and racism and Gregory Peck's phenomenal performance and the cast of a novel by Harper Lee, her only novel, which is a masterpiece, won the Pulitzer Prize and is taught to this day in high school literature classes. So it's that experience that we're talking about. It's the shared communal experience, and we want people to get out of their rooms and enjoy this and go somewhere, do something, and maybe, with your friends, or maybe go by yourself and meet with another friend that loves the movies like you do.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be way more memorable also.
Yes,
because
completely.
I know for me, when I fall asleep to a movie, it's like, whatever.
Right.
But going to the theater, it's much
Yes.
more of an experience and
Exactly.
a destination.
And there's popcorn and refreshments.
And there's popcorn. I forgot about that part. So how can folks get tickets for the upcoming Monday, June 30th? This is the Philadelphia story.
So you can go to the website for Laguna Woods Village. You can also call the number that's on the screen here, 949-597-4289. I believe tickets cost $5. Nothing, because you go to a movie, it's $15. So it's really, worth buying the ticket.
Can you give us a sneak peek at some of the trivia?
I sure can. So
For the
right now we
Philadelphia
see
side?
on the screen Philadelphia Story, made in 1940. In '38, Katharine Hepburn made a movie called Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant. It was a screwball classic today, but it was a big failure. And movie theater owners said, why are we paying these stars so much money? And they labeled certain stars box office poison, Katharine Hepburn being one of them. She could not get work in Hollywood for 2 years. She had a deal with RKO Pictures. They would not put her in a movie because of this label. She took it easy in stride. A friend of hers, Philip Barry, thought, I want to write a play for her to bring her back to Broadway. He consulted with her. He wrote the Philadelphia Story as a Broadway play. It was a big hit. Hollywood then came calling and wanted to make it into a movie. She bought the rights to the play and said, if you want to make the movie, I got to star in it. I have to be able to say who's the cast, who the director is. They wanted to make it so badly, they gave her that power. When the movie came out in '40, it was a huge hit, and she was never labeled box office poison again.
What was the role that she got that label from?
It was from Bringing Up Baby from 1938.
Why do you think it was?
It
not
did
tasteful
not
to the
succeed.
audience?
It was really crazy comedy by Howard Hawks, the
Interesting.
director, and he thought everyone was crazy in the movie. Today, we have reassessed that movie and consider it one of her best and one of the greatest screwball comedies ever made. But audiences did not shine to it at that time, but they do today.
And who was the other actor that happened to?
It was like Greta Garbo. There were other actors, Joan Crawford, on this list.
Wow.
So-
I was going to say, what a piece of history we get to go and see. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Theo, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us
my
today.
pleasure, and I hope people come and I can talk to them and live and they can introduce themselves.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay, folks, get out there and see it Monday, June 30th. Philadelphia Story. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, my name is Dr. Faramant. Brilliant Smile has been the premier dental office of Laguna Woods Village for over 30 years now. We take the extra time to understand our patients' unique needs. We truly care about your happiness and dental wellness. We always provide the absolute highest quality of dental work at very affordable prices in a very relaxing environment. Stop by or give us a call and experience the brilliant smile difference. We are conveniently located close to Gate 6.
Who's ready for shuffleboard? I don't know if I am, but I'm going to find out. We're here with John Rittenauer and Lynn Murphy from the Shuffleboard Club here in Laguna Woods Village. And you guys are going to, let's start with your name change.
Oh, yeah, just this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we added social club to our name.
Okay, and what do you think that does for you guys? So in terms of like members maybe saying, oh, maybe this is a little more fun and not so serious? Is that what they're going for here?
Oh, exactly. And if somebody maybe isn't so sports minded, they would also love to join our club because of the social things. We do an awful lot during the year. We want to have at least 1 or 2 social events during the year, during the month rather. And so far, it's really drawn out a lot of people.
And I've been down to the pickleball courts, and that's pretty much. And they don't. I don't know if they have a club or whatever, but they're pretty. I mean, they have a little center area. I don't know if you've ever been in that. They're all socializing down there. And then, oh, Bart, your game's up. Oh, gotta go. You know, kind of thing. And I know the bocce club does the same kind of thing, where they just have social events where they're not even playing bocce. And so that was that kind of the mindset around it, kind of make it a little bit more fun and lighthearted.
Right.
Oh, that's right. And it includes everybody, too. You know, we have a lot of food events, too. We eat out. We go and have some banquet dinners at the 19 restaurant. We also have jackpot nights where we switch up the rules a little bit. And John will get into some of the rules, but we make it a little bit more challenging.
So, John, how long has the Shuffleboard Club been around? Is it kind of like with the inception of the whole village here?
Well, I went to the History Center here, and it really has a great deal of information because I wanted to find out about it. And I was surprised to find out that the shuffleboard started here in 1963.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, and it was very crude in the beginning. They built these courts on their cement, and they built them on this soil that isn't very stable. They started cracking and being uneven, and they had a lot of trouble playing.
Okay.
And they actually made
we're looking at a picture of the puck and the, what do you call the stick?
Yeah. Yeah.
The stick? The cue?
The top cue is the pushing cue with the black on the black disc.
Okay.
The other is the other end, and it guides the pucks around wherever we need them, where the discs around.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so this is obviously, that's the more modern looking a shuffleboard court that you guys have today, which is
Yes.
is it pretty state of the art? I mean, people down there, are they impressed with your shuffleboard court?
Oh, yes. Oh, if I could just add this, you know, when I heard about shuffleboard, I was thinking of the shuffleboard of my youth, which was at the public park.
Right.
And it was on cement, and you would you would push it so hard your shoulder would hurt. Or on the deck of a ship, same thing.
Right. Cruise ship.
This is so different. It glides.
Oh, okay.
It's a slick surface, and we put something on top called Polyglide,
Oh,
which
wow.
is like cornmeal, and it just really floats.
Okay.
So you
So
do that
stiff
kind
wind
of
could really send it down the court.
Absolutely, and it does sometimes.
So how long have you been a member?
I've been a member for 3.5 years.
And had you played before? What drew you to it?
I played as a youngster. My family owned taverns, and I played on the table ones, table shuffleboard, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And then I'm from Ohio, but when I retired, I moved to Phoenix, and the summers were very hot, so I rented here just to see what it was like, and I started shuffleboard then. That was in 2019, and then when I moved here 3.5 years ago, I knew I wanted to join the club, so I joined right then and there.
And then you just joined because of the social aspect, right?
No, actually, my husband-to-be introduced me to the game, and he showed me his gold medals that he got, and I was so impressed. But I really was expecting a throw my arm out type of a sport, and I'm not sports-minded at all. I've never joined a sport. I grew up on the East Coast. We didn't even have a gym, and it was just absolutely amazing. that I could do it, and I was good at it. And I love the fact too that the courts are indoors, so it's air conditioned. You don't have to be out in the rain or the cold weather. It's just, and it's handicapped accessible, by the way, for anybody. We've got people in wheelchairs who are playing shuffleboard.
Well, there you go.
Actually.
And speaking of medals, I want to give a nod to your shuffleboard necklace. That's the first one I've ever seen.
I know. Isn't that, actually, this
Did you
came
have that
as
made?
a result. No, it was one of our social events. We had Seal Beach Shuffleboard Club come over, and they played games with us, and they brought gifts, which was ever so nice. And then we go over there sometimes too. So that's another part of the social aspect, is we get around.
So tell me a little bit about, for folks who don't know, how is shuffleboard played? How does it score? Like, give me a general intro to it if I've never seen it before or played it.
Well, there's two ways that we play it. It depends on the number of people that you have. And we have 6 courts, and we can accommodate 24 people if they're playing in teams. And we have 2 ends of the court, the head and the foot. And the teams would be either the yellow discs or the black discs, as we showed on the screen. And your opponent, of course, is at the opposite end. And the purpose of the game is to score as high as you can.
Okay.
And we have a scoreboard that's at the head of that's the picture of that. And we have 8 frames to go across. And at the end of the 8 frames, the highest score wins.
Okay, so you just keep, and can you knock people out of their scoring position too? Like, so that comes with a little bit of strategy there?
There's a lot of strategy. There's more strategy than people think, especially when they start, because as Lynn was saying, it's the courts are very slip with we put polyglide on them, and our first warning to people is never step on the courts, because they're just like ice.
You're going to keep going.
Yeah, you'll fall right down. So the first thing you have to do, every time you play, you have to do your first shot and see what it's going to be like, because it's a little different each time.
Right.
And of course, we try to get, I don't know if they show the triangles there, but the scoring is shaped like a triangle. And it's divided into sections, the top being a 10, the next 2 being 8, the next 2 being 7, and then there's a bottom area that's a minus 10.
Oh, no.
That we call the kitchen. We don't want to be in the kitchen. And of course, sometimes we put ourselves in the kitchen. And if you do it in the beginning of the game, it's not terribly bad, because you have a chance of getting out. If you do it in your last shot, which
you're in trouble.
You're really in trouble. And
people can knock you in the kitchen too, the other team members can? Yeah, I was going to say, this is when the strategy comes in.
That's one of the strategies, is tap someone in the kitchen. And then also, in addition to that, I think that if you're playing the yellow discs, and yellow always starts the game. If you're playing yellow, the black person has what's called the hammer, which means the last shot. If the black starts, the yellow person has the hammer. So that's always your advantage, because you have that last shot.
The last strategic, like, where are we at in the board? What do we have to have, kind of thing?
Right. So people really work at getting a good score on that last shot, because that's their last hurrah.
This is it. So Lynn, let's walk through some of the social things that you guys are doing. What are some of the events you've done? What's on the calendar coming up?
Oh, okay. Well, what we just completed was our potluck. We have at least 2 a year. And we also had our very first Saturday, which is to introduce the game to residents. And it is the first Saturday of every month during the summer. So the next one will be in July 7th.
Yeah.
And then
Coming
August
up.
2nd.
Next Saturday.
Right. And it's music, and we've got some food, and we've got people there who are willing to instruct. And we just have a good time. And you could just try it out. There's no cost or anything like that. We do ask people to come wearing closed-toe shoes, no sandals.
You don't want the pucks snapping your toes there.
It can happen. Yeah. And so that's always fun. So that's for residents in general, and then for our members, we've got a formal dinner coming around the holidays. We just completed our spring dinner at the 19, which was a barbecue theme. And after dinner, we always play some kind of table game, which is, we're going to have Name That Tune, I hope, for the next one.
Beer pong and Name That Tune. That sounds fun.
That would be fun. Yeah, but we do ask people if they do want to try out the game, that they please RSVP, and they can pick up a flyer at many of the clubhouses. I think it's a pink flyer, and we ask that they RSVP any of these phone numbers.
Okay.
We also have regular play games where our club is there. We prepare the courts, we open the doors, and they can come Monday or Tuesday mornings at 9:30, or Tuesday afternoon at 3, Friday at 1 o'clock. The only evening open play that we've got would be Thursday at 5:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a fun thing. People can go to the website if they want more information about the open play, membership, your events coming up, and that kind of stuff. And so, John and Lynn from Shuffleboard Club, thank you guys so much for joining us today. That was fun.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Michael.
And watch out, keep those closed-toed shoes on. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
California Club presents the Ultimate Legend Series. Special discounted pricing starting at $72, also $108 and $144 for all 4 shows. On sale from May 29th through July 4th. Individual show tickets available beginning 90 days before each show. Take advantage of these terrific savings now. Don't miss these amazing bands. More information, visit CaliforniaClubLWV.com.
And welcome back. Let's talk Saturday movies and a few other ones we're going to sneak in as well. It is going to be Field of Dreams today, Kevin Costner, and this is brought to us by City of Hope, 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And our Iowa farmer Ray Kinsella is inspired by a voice he can't ignore to pursue a dream he can hardly believe. Supported by his wife, Ray begins the quest of turning his ordinary cornfield into a place where dreams come true on a baseball field. There you go. And folks, we're not going to be here on July 4th or July 5th. We're going to be taking those days off, and we want to talk about those movies that we have for you on those days. So on July 4th, we have JFK Remember documentary. Finding Nemo is going to be on at noon, and then 5 p.m. with Huell Hauser's California Gold and the USS Midway. Then on the 5th, we have great movies as well. Stagecoach, classic Western. Then we have Biloxi Blues, a great romantic comedy there with Matthew Broderick. And then again, California Gold, this time visiting In-N-Out Burger. So again, we're not going to be here on July 4th or 5th, and so those are going to be the movies we're going to have for you. That's going to do it for this Saturday edition of This Day. And we want to make sure on Monday we have Caring Senior Services and RadNet are going to be coming in. And so we'll look forward to that one. I hope you make this day a great one.